evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us tonight at 6:30 on Unscripted. It's been a pretty nice day across northern Michigan. Some of us have seen temperatures in the 80s. It's been sunny, but we've been talking all week about the potential for severe weather, and that system is on its way to us now. So, Joe, when could we start to see some of those storms?
Yeah, I think we still have a few hours yet, but after 10 o'clock tonight is when these will start working in to northern Michigan. I do think everybody will get storms tonight. We don't usually say that, where everyone's going to get thunderstorms. Right. The question for us is, of course, how strong are they going to be by the time they get here this evening? But there is the potential, for some larger hail, damaging wind potential, maybe a brief tornado spin up this evening. So we're going to have much, much more on that. And here's the other thing you were even asking, because I know you have plans tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow night, we could have more rain coming in too. For our Friday night. So we'll explain that and look ahead to the weekend, all coming up in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Let's start off with our top story tonight. After 5.5 hours of testimony, a judge ruled there is enough evidence to move forward with a 36-year-old cold case. Stephen Kuhn is accused of murdering Linda Mateer in 1989. His preliminary exam took place in 86th District Court today. Our Allie Baxter was there in the courtroom and brings us up to date.
The bartender said to me, "Sally, Chuck was just here, and he said that body that they found in Hoosier Valley yesterday, he thinks it might be Linda, because he hasn't seen her in a week." I said, "What are you talking about? What?" He said, "Yeah, because that was fresh. I don't even know if I get the paper."
36 years after the murder of her friend Linda Mateer, Sally Horton took the witness stand for the first time to talk about the night of April 19th. It was the last time she and others who spoke in court Thursday said they saw Linda alive. Her boyfriend at the time, Charles Manville, said the description of an unidentified body found a week later made him pause.
They said a necklace. She wore a particular necklace, and that kind of remembered that. And that's when I called the police and told them that I might know who that was.
Prosecution called multiple witnesses to the stand for testimony, including retired sheriff's office detectives, a retired medical examiner, and a bartender who saw Linda before she disappeared.
She wasn't there. My husband was bartending, and I said, "Did somebody take her home?" And he said, "Yeah, Steve took her home."
Did you see them leave together?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Retired detectives say when they questioned Stephen Kuhn about leaving with Linda, he told them he didn't know her, and that was nonsense. When they searched for Kuhn's car, they say they found it abandoned at his father's property, and they collected hairs from inside it. Those hairs were recently sent to a company in Pennsylvania for DNA testing. Prosecutors say DNA evidence eliminates almost the entire population except for Linda Mateer.
Based on this information at a 95% confidence limit, 99.79% of the North American population could be excluded as the contributor of this hair.
The disadvantage with a 36-year-old cold case is racing against time. In court, it was explained a handful of key witnesses and investigators have died in the last few years, and those who are still around don't remember every detail.
I have not seen my report in 36 years.
Okay, thank you. Also found on scene was a Burger King receipt near the body. Was that ever followed up on, to the best of your memory?
I don't recall.
That was Allie Baxter reporting, and after closing arguments, the judge decided the case can be bound over to circuit court. Stephen Kuhn continues to plead not guilty to the murder charge. We will, of course, continue to follow this story. Well, you don't have to be a first responder to know when lives are on the line, every minute matters. And when time is critical, having the right tool for the job and one that can provide you accurate information in real time can make all the difference. Well, Grand Traverse Metro Fire Department knows that, and thanks to their latest addition, has a time and potentially lifesaver ready to take flight. Our Mark Shillette shows us their newest addition.
There's just many different situations that require different tools that just bringing a fire truck and a firefighter doesn't get the job done always.
And here at Grand Traverse Metro, getting the job done is job one. So they have a fire station full of the tools they might need, including their latest addition.
I think this is going to be one of those pieces of equipment that, can be used in so many different aspects.
It's one of the fancier ones.
A few weeks ago, it arrived here. thanks in part to a $10,000 grant from the Cosgrove Foundation.
It's a great feeling that we have individuals and organizations within the community that are willing to help out.
Helping the fire department afford the purchase so that the firefighters can be there when their help's needed most.
It can get help to the people quicker, more efficiently. We can kind of give a quick overview of what the scene might look like, so we can give that information to the responders and get them out there in a more efficient manner and safer.
Remote wildfires and lost people. This shines, equipped with thermal imaging and a speaker.
We have the drone overhead, guiding them maybe to where they are, also speaking to the injured individual, telling them that we're coming, just to get them to calm down a little bit.
This provides real-time information you may not get from the ground.
Get up in the sky and see from a new perspective.
The firefighting pilots all trained and licensed by the FAA.
The training never stops. Every time you're flying, you're learning new techniques, you're learning new capabilities of the drone, and you're perfecting your search patterns and things like that.
This makes them more efficient at getting the job done quickly and safely for everyone involved. And a tool like that is appreciated in a place like this.
Yeah, so I think this is a game changer.
That was Mark Gillette reporting. And while the fire department hasn't had to use the drone yet, they said it's only a matter of time before it proves its worth. Well, here on Unscripted, we love looking ahead to fun events happening, usually in the weekend. But tonight we're looking ahead to an event happening later on this summer. So the Watershed Center Grand Traverse Bay announced registration is now open for the 2025 Swim for Grand Traverse Bay. That is a 2-mile open water swim event that is happening on August 9th in Suttons Bay this year. And for more on the event, let's turn things over to our guest tonight, Christine Chrisman. She is the executive director of the Watershed Center Grand Traverse Bay. Christine, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So before we talk more about the actual swimming event, let's talk a little more about your organization. So what exactly is the Watershed Center Grand Traverse Bay? What do you do?
The Watershed Center has been around for 30 years, and our job is basically to protect water quality in Grand Traverse Bay. So there's several ways that we do that with on-the-ground projects or working with our local units of government to have policies and procedures, really trying to get people to recognize that water is a really important part of our lives and that the decisions that we're making really should center around protecting our water.
And when it comes to getting funding for these different initiatives, is that where different community events come in?
Yeah, so a lot of the funding that we get to do our on-the-ground projects might come from grants or foundations and things like that, but the majority of the work that we do really just comes from the generosity of individuals who are willing to give to our cause. And the Swim for Grand Traverse Bay, this is the 6th year that we've done it. So for the last 5 years, we've really seen our community come together and help to raise funds for the work that we do.
And so we mentioned that the swim itself is a 2-mile open water swim. What makes this more unique and different from other swimming events in the area?
When we first started the swim, this was one of the only open water swims really that were available in our area. And over the last, 5 or 6 years, open water swimming has really taken off. And so one of the really great things about the swim that we had when we started was really getting a community of swimmers that, to this day, still go out at all times of the year and get in the water and really are able to appreciate the clean, clear waters that we do have. And so the swim that we have really is just a celebration of being able to get out and recreate in our waters. And we have a great community, local community of swimmers, as well as folks who come from all over the country to participate in the event.
Are there any requirements? I mean, a 2-mile open swim event, like you probably don't want anyone who's not a super strong swimmer to participate, or can they?
Really, there are folks who have got out and never done it before and have completed it. We obviously think that there is some level of training that would be good. You really never know what it's going to be like until you get out into those open waters. And the weather can shift and change and things like that. So it's great for folks to be able to get out into the water and train at least a little bit. You can train in a swimming pool, but you also get out in the water and really just see what it's like The Great Lakes really are an interesting body of water, and things when you're out swimming, you really want to be prepared for that. So the more folks can do to get out into the water before they participate in the event, the better.
And right now we're playing video from, I believe this was last year's event. It looks like there's a good amount of swimmers there. How many people usually take part in this event?
We usually have around 100 swimmers, and then there's a whole slew of folks who are there for safety. So the swimmers can have individual safety paddlers that paddle along with them. And then we also have a safety squad that's out in the water and some emergency boats and things like that. So there's usually quite a few folks that are in the water, but about 100 of those are swimmers that are really dedicated and have trained really hard and have a really good time at the event.
So is it a race? Like, do you get a prize for being the first one done, or is it really just a fun event, just a swim with no end goal?
So we really do. It's not a timed event. I mean, we do time it, but it's not an officially timed event. Mm-hmm. We really just want folks to get out and have fun. We do offer prizes for folks in their age groups who are the first people to come back in different age groups, but we also provide prizes for folks who have helped raise the most money or come from the farthest away. So we really just want this to be a fun event. And if folks want to go out and race, that's great. And if they just want to go out and say that they've accomplished something, then that's awesome too.
And what would you say the overall goal of this swim is?
We really like the fact that this event gets people out into the water and really recognizing how important the waters are for us, maybe in a little bit of a different way for the swimmers who are out there swimming. So one of the most important things really is to just kind of raise awareness for the fact that the clean, clear, beautiful waters that we have are that way because we are working really hard to protect them, and that everybody really does have a responsibility in lots of different ways to protect that clean water if we want to see it continue for future generations.
Absolutely. And are you a swimmer? Do you take part in this event?
I like to say that I coordinate the event, so I don't have the time to train for it, and I have to be on land. We do have a staff person who's our water keeper who does the event every year, and that's fantastic for us.
And I mentioned that the event is happening this year on Saturday, August 9th in Suttons Bay. If folks are interested in coming, do they have to sign up? How can they get involved?
Our website is swimforgtbay.org. All the information about registering to be a swimmer or a safety paddler, as well as volunteering for the event, or folks can just show up and help cheer on the people who've spent a lot of time training and are actually in the event having fun.
Is there anything else that you want to mention about this event or the work that you are doing that we haven't talked about yet?
Just that one of the things our swimmers are asked to do is to help raise funds for the Watershed Center. So all of the funds that our swimmers raised goes directly towards our mission to protecting clean water. And we have some amazing swimmers who really go out and talk to their friends and people that they know and help raise awareness for protecting our clean waters. And so that aspect of what the swim is about is also a really great community part of what we do, and the fact that people are going and raising money. All of the money that the swimmers raise goes directly towards our mission. And so every dollar that they're out there pounding the pavement to get goes to keeping the water clean that they're swimming in every day.
That is so awesome. Well, Christine, thank you so much for joining us on Unscripted. We really appreciate it. I believe we have more information on the event on our website, UpNorthLive.com. But let's take a quick break. You'll have much more on the forecast for the rest of the evening. We're talking some potential severe weather, so you'll want to take a listen to what he has to say next.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Well, Joe has been tracking some potential severe weather heading our way. He has more on what we could expect now. And Joe, you mentioned we probably won't see these systems hit us until 11 o'clock-ish tonight.
Yeah, I think after 10 around Ludington, if you're in Alpena, Sault Ste. Marie, probably not till 2, 3 in the morning tonight. Now, the good thing is the storms will be slowly weakening as they get here, but I'm not sure they're going to be completely, done with in terms of severe weather. So we're kind of watching that as they slowly inch closer to the area. That's a look outside of Cadillac, or looking over Lake Cadillac to the west right now, where it's 79 degrees. By the way, if you're stuck on Mackinac Island, not that you're stuck there, but 40s and 50s there today. So it's just been cool. It's been an interesting day. Sheboygan, you've been cool. And then the rest of the area has been pretty warm. But you can see the clouds there in Cadillac. And there's a look at those temperatures. So Mackinac Island, as an example, right now is at 52 degrees. Well, Bel Air is at 84, and it's still 87 right now at Traverse City. So you're almost 3 degrees from 90 there. But the story tonight is that risk for severe weather. Here's what the outlook is for this evening. And the brown shaded areas is where severe weather is most likely. We've already seen a number of tornado warnings in Wisconsin. And then our area, that's really from Frankfort south down toward Grand Rapids, where we have an enhanced risk for severe weather. And then north of there is the yellow shaded area, which is a slight risk. All this being driven by a cold front, well, an occluded front, that's the purple area, and then a warm front and cold front attached to that. All that is lifting in. And so you get the lift out ahead of those frontal boundaries, and that's kicked off thunderstorms. And there's a look at radar right now. So we have 3 tornado watches, one in the Twin Cities, back into western Wisconsin, those big red boxes, another in eastern Wisconsin, and then another one was recently issued, which includes the Chicago area to our south. Now notice our region, it's dry still. Here's a little closer look at these storms as of right now. And again, a lot of lightning with these. Again, a few of these are supercell thunderstorms where we've had tornado warnings on a couple of these. I'm trying to get the right graphic. Here it is. I think I found it right there. So this is a closer look at some of these storms. And wherever you see, I'm going to actually take the lightning and radar off of here. Wherever you see the red smaller boxes, that's where we have tornado warnings. See all those boxes? Those are all tornado warnings right now in central portions of Wisconsin. So here's the timing on that for us. We'll head through the overnight. There's the storms arriving around Ludington, Traverse City, Frankfort, Manistee around 11 o'clock, and see how they work over the area. They should be weakening with time, reaching the east side of the state by 2, 3 o'clock. And then tomorrow morning, we're looking at dry weather. And one more thing, nice day tomorrow. It's going to be nice until evening. Then more rain and storms roll in. So if you have plans tomorrow night, just know that. And there's our extended forecast with showers, maybe a few storms later tomorrow, and then a cooler weekend with that chance for a few showers as well. Meteorologist Trevor Ribideau is sitting right there. We're here all night tonight, Maya. We'll keep an eye on those storms on air and online.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe. And Consumers Energy has also been keeping an eye on those storms. They have crew members that are working through the overnight hours in case of any potential power outages. And that's related to our question of the day today. Let's take a look at that now. Do you have a generator for your home? Scan the QR code on your screen. That will take you to our website where you can vote. As of right now, we have 188 votes and 63% have voted yes. But I will take another look at those results and read some of your comments toward the end of the show, because we do need to take a quick break right now. But we will check in with Sports Director Harrison Beebe live at another high school soccer game straight ahead. I believe the last time we talked to Harrison on this show, he was joining us live from a high school soccer game, and that's where he is again tonight. Harrison, what matchup are you covering right now?
Well, for record, that was the last time you talked to me on this show. I was a part. Oh, no, you're right. I didn't have a show yesterday.
There was no show last night. Yeah.
Nothing like correcting myself live on the air. Yep, you're correct. That was Tuesday at Traverse City Central. So today we're at Traverse City West, and it appears to be a little windy for the mobile microphone here. So I'm parked in the scorer's room, but still a pretty good vantage point of the game from in here. While we catch up with you guys to run over a pretty big soccer matchup. The Big North Conference title is on the line, right? We believe there are BNC stakes here, right? Doesn't the winner take the conference? They don't know for sure, but I'm pretty confident in the standings. I think Petoskey has the one loss to West, and West has a tie to TC Central. So if Petoskey were to pull off the win, I believe that would put them in the lead of the standings. But we'll break that down further at 11. We'll get a closer look.
Should probably get some answers on that before 11 o'clock, too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Harrison, what else are you working on tonight?
So I was also at a Harbor Springs game earlier today. The Rams are undefeated in the Northern Shores Conference, but they had yet to score a goal on Kingsley when I was there. So a lot of shots on goal, but nothing got past the keeper. And even Kingsley had a couple pretty good shots, too. And the Stags aren't at the top of the standings like Harbor Springs is. So that was a pretty competitive matchup. But hoping to at least get one goal here at this game to fill the show with tonight at 11.
So hopefully we'll have some good goals in the highlights tonight at 11. I'm going to manifest this now, put it out to the universe, so then they will score some goals for you.
Well, no, I'm going to guarantee right now, Maya, unfortunately, there'll be no Tiger walk-off tonight. I'm going to deem it a 0% chance.
3 nights in a row would be too much anyway.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow night to 3 to 4.
There you go. All right, Harrison, thanks so much for joining us. Get back to that soccer game, and we'll see your highlights tonight at 11. We are going to take another quick pause, but coming up in just a few minutes, we will check out our question of the day, the live results, and some of your comments. Stay with us.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme. Well, with the potential for severe weather tonight, we know Consumers Energy has 500 crews who will be working throughout the night to restore any power in case there are any outages. So our question of the day today is, do you have a generator for your home? You can see the live results on our screen right now. 63% say yes, 32 no, and 5% say they are looking into purchasing one. Over on Facebook, Melissa says, yes, best investment for the area we could have made. Power goes out way too much. We have a lot of people commenting yes. Pat says we have a whole house standby generator. It runs on propane and starts automatically. Brenda says we have one, had it before the ice storm. It runs on propane. And Cindy says, yes, we do. We'll run the whole house, not a standby one, but runs on propane or gas. So if you want to join the conversation, head over to our Up North Live Facebook page. You can leave a comment, and you can still vote on our question of the day by scanning that QR code right now. But we are all out of time. Thank you so much for joining us on Unscripted. We hope to see you back here at 11 o'clock today.